call the regular meeting of the Norwalk WPCA to order. It is 5:30. We have a quorum present. Is there a motion to go into executive session to discuss the draft consent order?
So moved.
By Mr. Bovee, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Ostafine, Clark, Bovee, Keegan, Smith, Flynn, unanimous. We're going into executive session at 5:30. That means unfortunately we all have to click on that other link and leave this one. Is that correct?
That's my understanding, yes.
Yep.
So we're gonna stop recording as fast as we started. Hope to see you there. It is 5:54. We've just left executive session. No action was taken. We resume the normal business of the regular meeting. Is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes of the WPCA held on December 20th, 2021?
Mr. Chairman, I would just like two corrections, if I may. I'd like the attendance to reflect the fact that I was present at that meeting.
Yeah, John already made that change.
Oh, thanks.
You have the old
Colleen.
minutes. Yep.
Okay, and then on item number 9, just to correct the spelling of my last name, Bove.
You got it.
Thank you.
You get that a lot, we know. Okay, any other comments, corrections?
Nope.
Was that a motion? Mr. Bovee?
Make a motion to otherwise approve, yes.
Okay, with corrections. Okay, there's a motion on the floor. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's Ostafine, Smith, Bovee, Keegan, Flynn, and Clark. That's unanimous. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve the special meeting minutes of January 3rd, 2022? Mrs. Smith. Any comments, corrections? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Ostafine, Smith, Bovee, Keegan, Clark, Flynn. I think I got everybody moved around a little bit. That's unanimous. Thank you. And that concludes the business section. So we'll go on to item number 5, contract operations.
Good evening, everybody. It was a pretty quiet month in December. The collection team was able to complete about 0.79 miles of inspection, along with cleaning of about 0.8 miles of sewer. We were also able to complete about 1.27 miles of SL rat inspection, which is another important inspection procedure that we perform. The restaurants continue to stay in business and stay online. We were able to do 10 inspections this month, and we continue to receive the sludge from Stamford, septage from Stamford as they continue their project there. We are at a level 2, or in fact at a level 4 currently here at our Norwalk project, and that's based on the Fairfield County statistics over the last few weeks, as all of you know, have been quite high. No real problems to report related to that. We have had a number of cases and a number of people that have been put on preventive quarantine. So, you know, we've had to manage some schedules, but we've been able to keep all the operations working. And in fact, we've made good progress on a number of other projects during this time. The facility was in compliance with all permit limits for the month of December. And the monthly nitrogen number was 507 pounds. So that finishes the 2021 calendar year. And our average is looking to be about 518 pounds per day, which is just about it is exactly 200 pounds per day below the credit limit in the program. So the city of Norwalk will be receiving a credit based on the average of 200 pounds per day less than what the credit program allocates. So that's a good total credit number. It'll have to be seen what the price per credit is. That unit cost has gone up and down, as we know, in years past too. However, there was a very high flow year, so perhaps that'll drive that unit rate out. But as soon as we hear, we'll certainly let you know what that number is. Update on the scrubber. So we do have all the systems tested out, and our contractors are complete. We are able to pull air through the blend tank draw off scrubber, but the main room scrubber is just about a week away, because the scrubber system is designed to pull air out of the building, but you've got to replace that air with fresh air from outside. And in the wintertime, especially in cold months like we're in right now, you got to heat that replacement air. We have a full new HVAC system as part of the upgrade, but it is missing a couple of key components on the control system. So we're basically not able to control the temperature in that building, which is puts us at risk of freezing. It also puts us at risk of using thousands and thousands of gallons of fuel oil, if the thing goes haywire. So there's really no way to run it on manual. We kind of tried that the best we could too. So we've got parts coming shortly. We had our HVAC contractor on site today, as a matter of fact, and it's just a fairly simple control loop that they can set up, and then we'll be fully operational on both scrubbers, which should be exciting. An update on the blend tank cleaning and resurfacing program. And would it be possible, could I share my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to do that. I have for you. Is it, can you see that? Picture would be a brown tank.
No, John,
No, okay, hold on.
we're not seeing your screen.
Hold on.
We see it.
Okay. So this is the sludge blend tank that's located in the solids handling building. There are two of these tanks, and they're used to do exactly what they're called. They're to blend the different types of sludges that we have in the plant prior to running them through the centrifuge. Probably over close to a year now, we've been evaluating the resurfacing of these tanks based on some visual inspections and some non-destructive testing that we had a testing company do back in the beginning of this evaluation. Had selected a company to come in, and they cleaned and then sandblasted the interior of these tanks. But in that process, they identified that there was some significant corrosion and really structural decay on this upper section of the tank. And you can see this is a picture from inside the tank now. And you can see it's more dramatic here, where the steel on the outside of this top rib is basically just, corroded through. You can see through it. And here's another picture of another section on the top. So when this tank operates, this part of the tank is not typically submerged. So this is the portion of the tank that's exposed to the gaseous H2S that's coming off of the sludge. So we don't know for sure that this problem continues through the entire tank. And our next step is to have a testing company come in, I believe as soon as next week, and they're going to conduct some detailed testing of the entire profile of the tank. That'll give us a picture of whether this can be patched, it can be structurally coated, or some combination of that, or if the steel pieces just need to be completely replaced throughout the tank. So that's where we are in that. We do have 2 of these tanks. The second tank that we have is in operation, and there's no visible signs of the problem, but we haven't gone through the sandblasting and the cleaning that we did on this tank. So more to come on that, but it's been a good team effort between our team and Ralph and a number of the subcontractors, and Arcadis has been helpful too in helping us come up with the best solution.
Rough number, how much to replace it with an FRP or something like that, that would be corrosion proof?
It's really hard to answer, Ralph. Maybe you do have a couple
Shoot
of
from the
numbers,
hip.
right?
We
$10,000?
we have one price to replace in kind by a steel tank company, and it's just over 500,000 to install a new tank.
May
So
I
$1 million for
May I
2.
ask a technical question here on this corrosion problem? Did they measure the amount of diminishment of the plate thickness, or is it just superficial corrosion? Because normally you would not have deep penetration on corrosion like you show there in that photograph. Why aren't they just repairing the corroded section rather than replacing portions of the tank?
I
Did
think
they
that's
actually measure the amount of penetration of deterioration, or is it just superficial?
right. I think we'll know that better once we get more of the testing going on, and that's a potential option, or maybe just cutting off a section. That's an idea that Ralph and I think might work. Is we just cut out those sections that are corroded, almost like doing dental surgery, and then replacing the bad.
Yeah, but we have to determine the depth of corrosion before you worry about something like that. Superficial corrosion doesn't necessarily penetrate deep, especially on exposure to gases. It doesn't make sense. Welding it or repairing it, cutting out, brazing it, and then refilling it with a welded material would be the most practical and the fastest solution to that problem.
Yeah, definitely
John,
a potential option.
Or a liner?
A liner, yes, of course. And there's all kinds of epoxy treatments that are waterproof.
Right.
That could be
Epoxy,
made,
that's a great idea. Epoxy is, that we do it in manholes all the time.
of course.
great idea.
Why are we talking about replacing whole panels of metal where you have superficial appearance of corrosion? That's all it is.
John, just for a clarification, it's actually, there's holes in the tank. It went right through the metal. It wasn't just on the surface. The sandblasting actually penetrated and went through the steel wall. So there's just no metal there in some areas. So
So you attach a plate and you weld it and you go on to other business.
right, that's why we have a tank expert through Suez coming in. They're doing additional testing to identify what alternatives, what options do we have, and what those costs are ultimately.
Right, and there are numerous options other than replacement of the tank. That's the point I wanted to make.
Yeah, absolutely. Agreed. Well, we'll keep everybody posted on that, and we'll try to provide you guys some pictures too, because it is quite a visual thing, so you can see where the damage is and what the options are and which path we'd like to go. Okay, the only other thing I wanted to provide an update on as part of the amendment, we did have some new equipment and tasks to initiate, and want to let you know we've moved quickly on those. We've placed a purchase order with the Jet Vector truck, so that's already placed with our equipment provider, CN Wood. And I don't have a delivery date on that yet, but they were optimistic because they told us that they had in stock a Mack chassis, which is part of our specification, and that has historically been the extremely long lead time on the delivery of these units. So we'll keep you posted on that too, but no delivery date as of right now. We also posted the 2 additional positions, so 3 additional positions actually with the GIS, and we have candidates for all 3 of them. One of them is an internal candidate from our project, which he's been offered the promotion up to the role from utility worker to collection operator. Another one is an internal candidate from the city who is interested in coming over to work for Suez. I believe he's going to actually retire from the city and come over to work for us. And the third candidate is the internal candidate from our project in Nassau, Long Island, for the GIS technician. It's an individual who we know very well, helped us start up the project, and is very interested in relocating to Connecticut and coming to work with our team here too. So good progress, and we're hopeful that we're going to have all those people on board full time within the next week or two, which is exciting. And that's all I have to report, but if anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Questions? Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Ralph, is that you next?
Yes, sir. So reports, item A, including the board package, is the most recent Munis report. If anybody has any questions on any of those items, we can talk about it. Otherwise, I was going to go right into the WPCA projects. Just keep in mind, it is winter. Construction projects do slow down, but we do, there is activity on all these projects. Starting with the collection system master plan, Brown and Caldwell has continued to calibrate the hydraulic model. Following our meeting with field staff, we anticipate continued model calibration over the next month or so, and then they'll be able to start running some wet weather scenarios and provide the collection crew and staff some areas to look at in the collection system to get some more field work. So that's ongoing. Item 2, collection sanitary sewer system rehab, various locations. This is with Green Mountain Pipeline Services. Over 95% of the project is complete. Right now, with winter, things have been slowed. There is some punch list items that they still need to do, and specifically lining. And we're just waiting on a schedule from that team to come down to Norwalk and finish off some of these lining locations. I believe later this week, they're going to have their sonar team come down and locate a couple manholes that are critical to a couple of the lining locations. Item 3, Belden and Burnell Boulevard. It's a new gravity sewer main that Avidi Construction is installing for the city of Norwalk. And we just got a 3-week look ahead. Their goal is to finish this work by late January or early February at the latest. They've had multiple issues due to conflicts with utilities. So they've had to go back and relay some pipe in order to get underneath, get the pitch so that the sewage will flow, get underneath the utilities. So it's been a little bit slow from that, but we have a good plan now. And like I said, they're starting to gain. Item 4, Wall Street to Night Street relocation improvement. Holzner Electric Company is our excavating contractor on this work. It's about $2.1 million worth of construction work. So far, they've, besides going through all the bid submittals, the submittal review with our engineer Jacobs, that's been ongoing. They've been able to relocate a natural gas service line that was in our way. And right now we have a meeting on Thursday with First District Water to resolve a water service line that needs to be relocated as part of this contract. Item 5, pump stations. We have 4 pump stations that Kovacs Construction is rehabbing. Things have been slow due to COVID and shipping delays, but for I know all 4 pump stations, they've been getting material, pipes, fittings, valves. That's some of the valves and the fittings is what held up some of the work. But Kovacs is on site and they're bouncing from pump station to pump station, prepping for wherever work they can do indoors. And they just got some piping at Woodward Avenue so they can start setting up their bypass connection. That's some excavation work. So that's what they're looking at over the next 3 weeks. Item 6, Bell Island Pump Station improvements. We had talked about this last month. Basically, we're going to be installing what we call a bypass connection on the force main. It's going to be in a new underground concrete vault. We finished doing a test pit, gathering critical information on force main depth and size. Working right now with Wright Pierce to prepare a one-page design sheet in order to get pricing from Kovacs to incorporate this into their work. Item 7, waste at the wastewater treatment plant, aeration tanks, electrical infrastructure improvements. We just got a signed contract. Kovacs Construction was the low bid. And right now it's, we're in the next week or two, we're going to have a pre-construction meeting and a kickoff of the project. Item 8, Scada upgrade phase 3. We continue to do small Scada stuff under this phase 3, which includes making improvements to the secondary lift pump, main lift, secondary lift pumps. Part of the controls, we're going to modify the alternating of pumps and just for a lead lag sequencing. Also, we're making improvements to the SCADA screen for the pump stations to add additional information that's beneficial to the operators and to the maintenance crew and staff. So that way they know best where to send resources if we do have multiple alarms at stations due to high wet wells and during a major wet weather event, or just in general, if we have pump failure or something happens, it's just more visible what pump stations are on backup power, what pumps are running, where's the wet well level. And then also we know where our critical level is, where if we hit a certain point, we have a potential for a sanitary sewer overflow. So the operators it's 24/7 manned, they can see, okay, this wet well, it's approaching our critical level, make sure somebody's out there resolving the issue or having a Vector truck pump down the wet well as needed. And then another item they're working on is more oversight or monitoring of our plant water pumps. Plant water is used throughout the facility for various processes and for cleaning. So all that work is continuing to move forward. And item C, sewer use bills appeals. Well, I guess before we get into that, does anybody have any questions on any of the projects that were discussed? All right, move on to sewer use bill appeals and adjustments to date is $135,210. And there are no information copies this month.
Anybody have any? Mr. Keegan?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ralph, where does the Maritime Aquariums appeal stand?
We had discussed it at the December meeting.
Yeah.
They're paying their sewer fee. They're not submitting an appeal.
Anybody else have any other questions or comments? Anything on the agenda? Anything not on the agenda? No. I noticed that we're up for another Tuesday meeting in February.
That's correct.
So we'll see you guys on the 22nd. Nothing else. Everybody's good. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I
There's a
move to
tie.
adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
It was a tie, but this is traditionally a Flynn motion, so. We'll go with Mr. Flynn. All in favor?
Aye.
I won't do roll call. It's unanimous. See you guys in February. Thank you very much.
Good night. See everybody
Good night.
then.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Stay safe.
Thanks, everybody.
you.
Thank you. Thank
Meeting
you,
is
Darlene,
over.
for helping.
At
Thank you.
6:17.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Darlene.